Graham, first of all, big night for the company, a new champion crowned tonight. How do you feel the event went?
Big success for us, sold out arena. The fights were, for us, I thought were spectacular fights, very entertaining fights, and they sucked the crowd in on everything that happened. I think the crowd were cheering every kick, punch, elbow, submission attempt, so it was a good night for us. Good finish to the year.
It's always a big loss when someone like Paddy gets taken off a card. Obviously a huge star, and even you could feel how much his comeback, how much it was stimulating interest in Europe and UK particularly, and Ireland. How much of a loss is it when a guy like that, a superstar there, gets taken off a card for a company like Cage Warriors?
It's a big loss depending on where he is on the card. I don't think a lot of people realise. I think Paddy was a late addition to London because we didn't know whether he was going to be fit to fight or not. So we kind of had the card built, and we had one spot left open if we got the green light that Paddy was good to go. So he was a confirmed late addition. So we sell this place out every time we come here. It's our home. So to lose Paddy is devastating on a content and energy and eyes on the show, but the show was sold out prior to that anyway. Unfortunate circumstances were how it happened, you know. But Paddy'd be probably on the first show of the year. We're going to Manchester, it's not far from his hometown, so probably answering your next question is that's where he'll be, yeah.
Just one more on that. How do you feel about the Gianetti situation? I mean, you did very well to get him in at the last minute, really high caliber opponent, an opponent that's known to the international audience as well. How disappointing is that when you guys extend yourselves and you get the fighter over and then he doesn't come in on the weight? Like, I mean, is that disappointing for Cage Warriors?
It's disappointing for Cage Warriors. It's disappointing for the fans, and it's disappointing for Paddy. You know, and if we just remove Paddy's name from this for a second, it's disappointing for any fighter. You know, he's trained, and any fighter would train their ass off for 8 weeks to get a fight on such a prestigious show to finish the year. So for Gianetti to come in 7.5 pounds over, I think it's disrespectful to Cage Warriors to have given him the opportunity to take a chance on his word that he said he would make the weight, and to come in and not do it. Had he made some attempt and reached out to us the morning of the weigh-in, I believe there could have been some kind of middle ground catchweight fight put together, but he didn't. He stepped on the scales 7.5 pounds over, stepped off the scales, went straight back to his seat and started hydrating. So it kind of says it for itself, really. Yeah.
Well, you can understand Paddy's logic basically. Then it's pretty much the same.
Yeah, I understand Paddy's logic. No, I said on air tonight, we were the ones that told. Paddy's head was all over the place. You know, he's a fighter. The first words out of Paddy's mouth in those minutes were, "My head's fucked. You know, I've got all these people who come to see me to fight. It's my big comeback." So I personally pulled Paddy aside and said, "You cannot fight because of external pressure. You know, this show is done. It's a big show. There's world title fights in this card. You cannot step in there just because people have come to see you. You've got a long career ahead of you. Going in there against a guy who's 7.5 pounds over when you've just bust your ass to make weight is not a wise thing to do. But the decision is yours. We're telling you not to do it." He listened to experienced words. We know what we're doing. He took it on board, and it broke his heart. It literally broke his heart to have to walk away from that fight. He's a fighter. He doesn't want to walk away from fights. But it was a sensible thing for him to do. Like I said, he's got a long career ahead of him. So, you know, even in there lost, you know, where does he go from there? So he's got a career to think about. He made a good decision based on feedback that he was given.
Graham, we saw a title change in tonight's main event. Matthias Frederick knocked out James Webb in their second encounter of the year. You know, how nice was it to see that this fight didn't go to a contentious draw at the last one, and that we actually got a defined winner here tonight?
Yeah, it's nice that they kind of finished off all business, to say. Matthias was strong, man. He was super strong on the feet. Whether it was a gas thing, a cardio thing towards the end, just Matthias just wore James down. But on the feet, I just didn't see that James had any answers for Matthias striking and his aggression and the power in those shots towards the end. Maybe a rubber match. We don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
You know, we got a champion. He's in Birmingham, so we'll be going to Birmingham in April. Maybe he'll defend there. We'll see what's what.
Is there any other names floating around for Matthias as his first defence, or is it maybe just the rubber match that you're looking to book?
It's not something we've even thought about or looked at. We'll figure that out maybe next week. We'll take a few days off, and myself and Ian will sit down and start looking at the first 4 or 5 shows of the year and see who's going to fit in where.
Yeah. We've also seen Manchester. It's going to be the first ever Cage Warriors show in Manchester. Not tempted to go across the Pennines to the noisy neighbours in Leeds?
There's only so many shows and cities we can fit in, so we'll test the water with Manchester. Jack Cartwright, bantamweight champion, needs a run-up, so we'll come and bring the cameras and platform him in and see what kind of reception he gets in Manchester.
Yeah, we've obviously seen this year you've turned the dial up to 10. Next year, already 10 events announced. You know, how do you beat this year after a bantamweight tournament, a Night of Champions card, and so many thrilling fights throughout the year?
We've got some strong stuff up our sleeves that we'll be announcing pretty soon. There's a few little I's and T's and dots and crosses to happen, but we've got I believe we'll have some good news to spread for the fighters and what's going to be available to them in the new year, which will, I believe, up the game again within the industry. So we're working on that with the mothership.
Thank you.
Graham, we saw Ian Gary here tonight. Thoughts in his career and any plans for any future opponents for him?
No future opponents as such. Ian is another one of these guys that will probably step in and fight a world title fight tomorrow. But it's baby steps. He'll get developed and he'll be a huge star and a huge name in Cage Warriors. You know, I believe Ian in Ireland, Reese up in Belfast, Joe, Hughes. We're starting to build that Irish scene again, so we've got strong plans 2020.
And you mentioned Jack Cartwright earlier. Any opponent in mind for his first title defence?
We had eyes on a fight tonight that could have been something there, but no, we're back to the drawing board, so we'll see what's there. We'll see what comes up in that. Yeah.
What did you mean when you said the mothership there?
Yeah. Any other questions?
Are you talking about UFC?
Any other questions?
Finally.
Yeah.
You've already spoken about Matthias. What were the other standout performances for you this evening?
Mads Brunel. Mads stood up for me tonight. We got to see his striking. You know, everybody talks about Mads as the submission king of Europe, and he's this and he's that. But I think tonight we got to see a different side of Mads. The Liam Gettins Amasinga fight, I've yet to see the second 2 rounds, but the first round looked absolutely crazy. I didn't get to see the second 2 and 3, but I'm looking forward to watching that back, so I'll talk about it. So yeah, but tomorrow in general, I'll watch the show back. I've been scrambling everywhere tonight. It's been a busy night for me.
Has the UFC spoken to you about Mads at all?
Would the UFC speak to us about Mads?
Yeah.
No, it's not a conversation that we would have with them, no.
Graham, just a word on Modestas Bukauskas, retained his belts in emphatic fashion. He's brought his profile up a little bit recently, what was going into the Isle of Fernando's or whatever it is that show is. Do you reckon with the London card fast approaching, the UFC could come knocking, or are there any specific plans you have for him that you might think that he might be better suited staying?
I'd like to see Modestas go. You know, there was a time it was maybe questionable where Modestas would end up, but he turned a corner in his career. He took on some big names, beat them. He's a champion. He just defended it. The light heavyweight division in Europe, there's not a lot to choose from or pick, so I'd like to see him go. If he doesn't, we'll find someone for him in London. But I believe he does deserve a shot based on his last 3 or 4 performances.
Right. In regards to Giannetti, on Twitter he was stating that he was 30 pounds over a week ago. Was that something Cage Warriors were aware of? Was that discussed before he took the fight?
I was told about that yesterday when people started mentioning that was on Twitter, and that's what he was saying. If guys, managers or coaches, and we talk to them and they say they can make the weight, we've only got to take them for their word. You know, we can't judge and say no way you're making that. We ask them what their weight is, they'll tell us. We're seasoned pros, we have no problem making that weight. We can only take them for their word. if they turn up and it's not what they said, you know, that's once bitten, twice shy for us.
Yeah.
You know, but we got to take them for a word when they tell us this. But we did not know at that point that was the weight he was walking at. But I've seen guys cut that type of weight in 2 weeks. So even if he did say that, it's not something we would have gone, holy shit. You know, we've seen guys cut that type of weight.
And just in regards to Paddy, is there not the temptation to, I know you said Manchester, is there not the temptation to take him back to the Liverpool and go back to the Echo Arena and sell that out? Or?
We need to test new territory, you know. Manchester is somewhere we've not been. It's been asked for years and years. We'll test it out. We'll see where it goes. Paddy will be on that card. We'll see how Jack does, what kind of crowd he draws. Maybe we step into a bigger arena in Manchester. We've got 10 shows scheduled, released. There's more to come. So maybe Liverpool slips in at the end of the year.
Okay, thank you.
Graham, we also saw when these announcements were made about the events, a lot of Scottish fans getting a little bit riled up. There's no return to Glasgow or going up past the border. Is that something we might see in the future announcements?
Maybe towards the end of the year. Definitely not within the first half of the year. We're kind of stacked out. It's hard for us to step into cities where the brand hasn't done well previously. We have a lot to calculate, both financially and arenas and dates and slotting everything in. So we'll see where it is at the end of the year. We've got a few Scottish guys on the roster. Some will coming off losses. So it's something that is on our radar, but we need to fit in towards the end of the year if it is going to happen.
We also saw tonight Lotterbatch. He knocked out Alex Lahore, who was a top prospect in the welterweight division. What's his future hold for that division now? We've got Ian Garry coming up the ranks. Ross Houston's defending champion. Where would you see that division go this year?
Well, we're finished for this year.
Next year, rather. Oh.
So next year, I don't know. Maybe there's a fight there for Ross. See what Ross wants to do. You got Reece McKee there as well. Lahore probably would have been in that mix, but after tonight, no. Santos may be back in the mix. So it's starting to brew in that division. Yeah.
You're still looking to match Ross Houston then, despite some of the back and forth on Twitter and the criticism is levelled at Cage Warriors recently?
We're all behind Ross. When Ross is ready, we're happy to put him on the card. He's got some issues about where he wants to fight. I think he's a little bit upset because the UFC haven't signed him for Copenhagen. He thought he might get in there. I know the UFC will take him at some point. Maybe there's some clock ticking in Ross's head where he wants to give up that dream and go somewhere else. But if I was Ross, I'd sit tight, defend his belt, and it's there for him.
When does his contract expire? Do you think you could just run it out?
No.
What does it say about the appetite for MMA in this part of the world with 2 shows on this weekend, Bellator obviously at the SSE, and then you guys here selling out the Indigo? I mean, it must mean good things for a promoter being in this part of the world and having both these cards generate so much interest.
Yeah, it's a big thing for the sport. The sport is growing, you know. So to have the crowds, like we have a sold out show tonight. I don't know what the other crowd will do tomorrow. I don't know what type of crowd I get. But London's a big place, you know. There's 10 odd million people there. You know, if you can't do well, 10 million people in the city, then maybe it's time to pack up and get into something else, chess or something. I don't know.
Any words about Donald Dollery? I heard it's his last night tonight, and I mean he is a member of the Cage Warriors family. We see him at all these events over the years, and he's a well-liked man.
Yeah.
What does he mean to the Cage Warriors family?
He's been part of the family for a long time. He brings a lot of ease to the fighters. They see that face, but you know, getting his pension or his bus pass soon, so I don't know if we can have him running around the cage like that.
You going to present the gold watch now, or?
Yeah, we'll look for a gold watch. He's been after a gold watch for a while, so we've got to tie it on and pick one up over Christmas.